Okay. So it's recording. I don't know. Did it tell you it's recording on your end
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Okay, sweet. All right. What's going on, guys? Dr. Matt here, host of the Rhody Strength Podcast. Got a special guest on today, all the way from Florida. Chase, what's going on?
How's it going, Matt?
Good. So I'm excited to chop it up with you. D1 golfer over at Florida Gulf Coast. This is your senior year?
Senior year. Yep. Last
Awesome.
hurrah.
Oh, last hurrah. I like it.
Yep.
How's the weather there right now?
It's actually a little bit colder here today. I think it's like 65. There's a cold front that just went through.
Man, you might need to pull out a jacket.
That's why I got the jacket on right now.
We woke up to our first, the first I remember, below freezing day today, 30 degrees. So it's winter time. It's getting there.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we'll jump right into it. Rapid fire questions. Most of these are related to Rhode Island, but if you have one that you want to say for Florida instead, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
What part of Florida is the Gulf Coast in?
Fort Myers. It's like on the west coast. It's 2 hours south of Tampa.
Cool.
To make it easy, yeah.
All right. So first question: best breakfast in Rhode Island?
I mean, Ann and Dee's Cafe on East Main Street is definitely the number one.
Yeah, I remember you talking when you came up, and I still haven't been there. And now I'm gonna have to just put it in my schedule. I'm gonna have to schedule it in.
Yeah, so,
absolutely.
Right down the road.
My commute, I just don't pass it that often, but it's so close to where I am. So it's bad I haven't been yet. What's the go-to? What's good there?
Bacon, egg, and cheese on everything bagels usually my go-to. I try not to eat it like once or twice a week when I'm in Rhode Island. Nice. But it's hard. It's like $4 too.
I mean, you're getting some protein in there. Exactly. I'm sure they have good quality bacon and cheese, and so it's probably much worse things you can eat.
Yeah, it's like a keto bagel, but I don't even touch that.
Carb free.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not doing that. I try to avoid that at all costs. How about best coffee?
I'm not a coffee drinker, but I did try Custom House with my girlfriend one time, and it's like not bad. I would say it's pretty good. I don't really like coffee, but it's pretty good.
Nice. That's a good choice. That's a good choice for coffee. Yeah. So do you drink caffeine at all or no?
I don't really. I used to take pre-workout, but I'm like, I feel like it makes me like paranoid and like anxious. I just can't do it. Like 100%. I love Celsius and stuff, but like get so like parent, like I feel like I need to run through a wall. Like I took it yesterday before I worked out. I'm just like, I'm not doing caffeine. So today's first day, no caffeine.
Nice. Hey, that says a lot about, number one, your overall recovery. Like you're recovered well, you don't need it. But also you haven't built up a crazy high tolerance to it either. So even just a little bit of caffeine. Yeah, totally. So honestly, that's ideal to not be dependent on caffeine. So nice job. Good work. What were you taking for pre-workout?
I used to take like Bare Performance Nutrition, and like high school I took C4, but like I took it over the summer and felt like the same kind of like, I feel like my heart's like beating so fast because those pre-workouts are not, I love them because you get the best workout and you get a great pump, but like it's just, I think you got to mentally like just get over the hurdle yourself.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. C4 is good. I've taken that a couple times. I haven't taken the Bear one yet. Is that Nick Bear?
Yeah, Nick Bear. Yeah, I watched one. And his supplements are good. I do his protein and stuff. It's really good.
C4 is definitely powerful. I've taken it a few times.
Yeah.
There was an old or not old, but there's an Olympic weightlifter who was taking that extensively for a while. This guy named John North. And it's not correlated or anything, but he actually ended up like having a heart attack, dying for a few minutes, and then was revived. And the doctors, I guess, couldn't really figure out what was going on. Like he didn't have any like heart disease or anything like that. But he was taking like way more caffeine than normal person should. If you take it in like safe doses, you're totally fine. But I hear you. Especially if you're sensitive to caffeine, like that stuff can be a bit much sometimes.
Oh yeah. I don't like drink coffee at all, so my caffeine tolerance is low. And then I'm taking Celsius like before I work out because it's like the minimal pre-workout, and I still don't feel great. So I'm like gonna go like a few months without it and see how I feel.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's good. That's a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
We got next question. Best bar in Rhode Island.
When I was up there like last weekend, I went to Clark Cookhouse, and that was pretty good. Or Surf Club. I got like a Newport water, which is extremely overpriced, but it was good.
A Newport water? What's that?
It's like a famous drink. It's like all these different kinds of like champagne and like
interesting.
So it's like kind of like early drink, but like it's like iconic, I guess. And it's like $25, but I mean,
really
$25 drink, yeah.
They must use like crazy expensive champagne or something like that.
Champagne, yeah.
Was that at the cookhouse?
Yeah, it's your house.
I can see that. Was it good?
Yeah. I mean, no, it was great, but it's like kind of like an Aperol spritz with no Aperol.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. The cookhouse is a cool spot. They have good espresso martinis there too.
My girlfriend had one of those. Yeah,
those are good. Have you been to, or have you heard of the Boom Boom Room there?
Yeah, downstairs.
Yeah. Did you guys check that out?
It wasn't open.
Oh yeah, it's like that's more of like a summertime, like almost like speakeasy style, like
I like those.
Probably the closest thing you get to like a club in Newport.
Right.
It's not quite a club, but it's like the closest thing, like dancing, like music, the like disco lights, stuff like that. So it's a fun place.
For sure.
Next question. Let's go. Favorite sneaker.
I mean, so like workout wise, probably like Nobles, but like
cool
in general, I like Allbirds.
Yeah,
fan of those. Like a sustainable company, which is cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, and they just went public and they're on the stock market now.
Nice. And they're pretty eco-friendly.
Yeah, they have no carbon footprint or something. Is what their company mission is.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big. I haven't actually purchased any Allbirds, but I've seen them all the time. They're good looking shoe, good looking streetwear shoe.
I have like 5 pairs. I mean, they're pretty sweet. Yeah.
I got a bunch of Nobles, though. I do like the Nobles. I'm wearing Nobles right now. What are you wearing right now?
Gucci sneakers.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
What about a golf shoe? Have you tried the Noble golf shoe?
No, I just wear Nike because my school has a contract with Nike.
Oh, that's right. Okay. They look pretty sweet. All right, let's go. We're moving on. Next question. Favorite athlete.
Wait, hold on. I lost you for a second. My AirPods died.
All right, I hear you. You're coming in. I got you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you.
All right, cool.
How about favorite athlete?
I mean, Tiger Woods by far. It's gotta be.
Oh, good. All right. That's the first time actually somebody's mentioned Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say he's not like one of the greatest of all times. And he just posted like a swing video the other day. Yeah, it was 2 days ago yesterday. And he's like had a car accident in January, of course.
Yeah.
And if he was back and wins again, I'd be like, I think he has to be the greatest athlete of all time.
Dude, why does he keep getting in car accidents? What is going on? How many has that been now?
I mean, 2 that I know, but like I think he just bad luck. One was bad, but this one was, I think somebody ran into him or something. I don't think the second one wasn't his fault. Yeah,
it wasn't his fault.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's just bad luck then. 2 major car accidents.
It is bad luck.
Yeah, I for some reason I'm like, I wasn't picturing you saying a golf athlete, but it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger Woods, nice.
I would say like, I mean, I had LeBron or something like so basic.
Yeah,
so, I mean, Tiger's like up there. Yeah.
I did a seminar at a high school last weekend, and I just for fun I polled the kids there on a question like, who's the greatest of all time in basketball, Michael Jordan or LeBron? Yeah. And they all said Michael Jordan, and I was pretty surprised. I mean, I would still say Michael Jordan too, but I feel like the young kids coming up, they've grown up with LeBron being awesome. I figured a lot of them would start saying LeBron, but pretty much everybody said Michael Jordan still. So
yeah.
All right, let's go on the next question here. Place you most recently traveled.
I was in Rhode Island last weekend.
True. Just for the experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was good to go up there and see everyone and hang out with you and Zach, and for a long weekend. I've tried to go up in December, but I have like some family obligations. I gotta stay here, but disappointing.
That's,
but
that's all right.
Yeah,
You'll come around again
for sure.
Eventually, when the time is right.
Yeah.
How about any travel plans coming up? Going anywhere?
Nothing right now. It's hard to leave. Honestly, it's hard to leave Florida like in the wintertime just because the weather's so good, and we leave anywhere. It's like kind of like it's just you're going somewhere worse, obviously.
That's very true. That's
like this is the best time of year to be here. So like I'm probably gonna stay here, and my family's here. My mom has to work, so it's like we usually stay here through the winter. But yeah, I don't know where I'll travel next. I'm a big like weekend, just like I'll book a week in advance. Like I like pretty impulsive.
Nice.
Yeah,
hey, that's fun though. That's how I like to do it too. And
I don't like planning.
My girlfriend is the opposite, but that's how I like to be impulsive.
Yeah.
We got next question. One book, and a lot of people, I know a lot of people will listen to like audiobooks or even like podcasts nowadays, but one book or podcast that that you like recently or has impacted your life. Doesn't have to be your favorite of all time, but one that sticks out in your mind.
Like, I don't really read a lot of books.
That's kind of the common. Yeah, that's kind of
the common read books. But I mean, I just like I would say like more thing like podcasts and like I watch like a lot of stuff on YouTube. Like I would say like I watch a lot of like marathon prep and stuff. I think that like Iron Man stuff like that. It's like I don't know if it's something I want to get into, but like those are something like I'd say like I strive to do that. Like I'm doing a 5K on Wednesday, but like we'll see if I actually can because I like the weightlifting and stuff, and it's like two polar opposite things.
Have you run a 5K before?
Nope, no training at all. Send it out there.
There you go. Send it.
Thanksgiving.
5K is something you can just send it, no training.
Yep, exactly.
A marathon, some people do run marathons, no training. And it can be done. Not advised, especially from a PT standpoint, not advised, but awesome. Is that a turkey trot then, huh?
Turkey trot, 7:30 a.m. on burn calories before.
Nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
What about some accounts? Any accounts you like on YouTube?
I watch like Nick Bear's like the number one I watch. I watch like Shaw Strength. I like those big bodybuilding guys, seeing them.
Yeah.
What else do I watch? I think those are like my main two that I watch.
Big two, nice.
Yeah.
Did you check out the Rogue Invitational recently with the strongman competition?
Yeah, I saw those are pretty cool. I can't imagine like I think that's interesting. I don't think it'd be so bad for you like those big like heavy like not ball, like the concrete balls, that they like lift up and stuff. I'm like, that's cannot be good for you to do that.
It's crazy you mentioned that because in the PT community, that's always such a polarizing topic. Because some people would argue that, I mean, if you look at those guys, if they're picking up a stone, there's no way to do it without rounding your back. It's just like it's just the mechanics.
Up an arch.
Yeah. So it's very polarizing in the PT community right now. Some people would say, hey, listen, those guys are just built different and they can get away with it. And eventually it's going to hurt them. And then other people would say, hey, listen, like if you train that specific way over a long time, your body can actually adapt to it and you can just kind of like be strong in that position. And I mean, I could kind of see it from both angles, and probably somewhere in the middle. But it's interesting, like it's especially with the strongman stuff. And there are, if you look at the rate, the statistics, there are higher injuries in strongman versus powerlifting versus Olympic lifting versus CrossFit, but not that much more. Like only a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you posted something about injuries or something. Do you vert in categories?
What's that?
Yeah, I think I saw something on Instagram. I don't know if you posted or not. Is like versus category, like in categories and stuff.
Exactly.
What was high at strongman or CrossFit or something?
When it came down to the quote unquote barbell or strength sports, the highest was strongman. But again, like by a very small amount. Like they're all pretty similar. The bodybuilding was the lowest though. The lowest injury rates. Which I kind of find is, I mean, it makes sense because for bodybuilding, most of the time you're pushing really hard, but at the same time, you're not doing anything like really fast, like high speed reps.
You can stop, if
it feels bad. So it kind of makes sense. And actually bodybuilding is kind of used when you look at powerlifting, strongman, and CrossFit. If someone gets injured in one of those sports, they start to take a lot of the concepts from bodybuilding and start to do a little more bodybuilding style like workouts to get them healthy again.
Right.
So it makes a lot of sense to me.
It does, yeah.
And just one more point on that. Nick Bear, how did you get into watching him?
I feel like it just came across like my YouTube suggested one time, and like I like love watching like what I eat in the days and like day in the life. Like I'm a big like productivity person. So like seeing what other like successful people do. And he's like interesting that he was like all these different things. He was Army Ranger, then he was a bodybuilder. Now he's doing, Ironmans, and he ran the Leadville 100. Like those are really cool things. Like his company slogan's like "Go One More." I think that's a really sweet thing to be a part of. Like that community, it seems like really cool place.
That is cool. I like that. If you like, and I'm the same way. Like especially if someone's able to like change sports like that and just like keep.
And he's like 34, like 35. Like he's not young.
Yeah,
like 20s. Yeah.
Seriously, that's crushing it. There's a podcast. Have you heard of Tim Ferriss?
Yeah, I've heard of the name.
He has a podcast that's kind of similar to that vibe, where that I know you kind of like this like the day in the life, like how did this guy accomplish that? Tim Ferriss's vibe is he interviews each person, and usually like athletes or someone who's done a lot in their field or an expert in their field, and like basically the habits and like what they do day to day to like accomplish that. Right. So I would check that out. It's a cool podcast.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's move on a little bit into your history, kind of where you grew up, high school, college, where you live now, which we know Florida, but where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Naples, Florida. It's like not that far away from my college, like 45 minutes. My college is 45 minutes north. Grew up here my whole life and was born here. My high school went to a small private school, but I had an interesting high school situation. I was a part of this thing called the Academy at a small private school. It was me and my buddy. We and like a couple other people there in different sports. So we went 8 to 12, 4 days a week, and only took core classes.
Cool.
So we could play golf or whatever your sport is. There's a girl who's an ice skater in there. There's a girl who did like horseback riding and whatever that was. But you can, whatever your sport was, but it had to be like deemed fit. The school said like you had to show that you were actually putting in hours and going to do stuff and not just messing around after school, which sometimes we did. But that's that's what happened. Yeah,
all kids would.
Yep. So I played golf after freshman. I knew I wanted to do that after 8th grade, and my parents signed me up for that, and I got a lot better at golf. And then I committed to FGCU my junior year, I think. Maybe who was my sophomore? I think it was my junior year, like in August. So like I was like I never had to do the college applications. Like I never did any of that. So I knew where I was going like very ahead of the time, which is kind of common in golf. And I think they might have changed the rules nowadays for recruiting wise. But it was like an interesting way to grow up. Like me and my one friend, he played golf at Virginia and then transferred to Alabama. We just like it's a good environment because like we worked out together, we practiced together almost every day. We really pushed each other. Like we were both good players, but like going to Division I, like we're the best players in the area. We had to, we won a state championship and like that kind of stuff's like it's pretty sweet.
That's in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And so you were saying how you and one other guy basically were playing golf, and because of both your abilities, you were kind of like able to push each other like back and forth a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's like I think that's where I got so competitive. It's like I hated losing to him. He's like my best friend, and I hated losing to him. He hated losing to me, and like we just mess around all the time, play games on the like practice games, and like we go work out and see who can bench press more, who can squat more, like that kind of stuff. And like we didn't even realize we were doing it, but like looking back at it now, it's like it was so good for me, and like that's how I got so competitive. And like our coach was his dad in high school, and he was like very knowledgeable about golf. And we used to beat teams by like 60 shots just to wipe them. And like, but he'd like kick our butt because if we did something stupid, like we'd be winning by a ton. Like we get undefeated, like we won everything. And he would make us do push-ups in the parking lot. And the other coaches would be pissed because he'd be like, you guys are just like, you lost this amount of shots today. You could play better. So we'd be doing push-ups in the parking lot after we opened a team by 50 shots. And the coaches would be like, everyone's starting to hate us and stuff. But like that's what happens when you want to be like a winner.
Yeah.
You want to be the best.
You guys weren't even worried about like being a team. You guys were just worried about like playing the best game and like being as close to perfect as you possibly can.
Yeah, exactly. It's like making no mental errors. Like you don't want to, like, your mind doesn't need to get in the way of your, sometimes you hit a bad shots or do bad off your ability for that day, but like your mind controls all that.
Right.
So
that's pretty cool. That's awesome. And then, so how did that environment change a little bit as you got into college?
I think college is so different than so for instance, like college, in high school, you control everything you do. What tournaments you play, when you practice, where you live, like, your pound, like your parents say, like, you don't worry about food, your parents are cooking you dinner, like you have your situation so under control. And now college, there's all these outside variables. Like high school, I breezed through that, like academically it was easy. And now college, I'm in class, I'm grinding at finals, midterms. And that's hard as itself. Like being a college student's a full-time job. Now any sports on that, it's like another monster. It's like 30, 40 hours a week. I'm grinding. I'm up at 5:30 to catch my 6 a.m. workout. It's so much harder than people think. There's so much more to do than just going out there and practice, getting a lot of free clothes, going to cool vacations. Like it's more than that. And you have to be so mentally strong that I think you don't even have to love your sport. I think you just need to love to compete. Like it's not even about like I'm like not over golf, like I'm like getting like to the point where I'm like ready to do my golf career, but like you have to love to compete, because the guys who love to compete every single day are the ones that are the best. Which is, I think that's people like, oh, I fell out of love with the sport, I don't want to play golf anymore, I don't want to play basketball anymore. Like I think you lost your love for competing, because if you're like willing to let somebody else beat you, you're willing to not put in the work.
Interesting. I would have never thought about that way, because you do see people burn out from college sports because of how tough it is to balance, like basically trying to be a professional at the sport and like getting all your college work done, and having somewhat of a social life. Like
exactly.
Get burnt out.
My high school golf coach, actually, he said college is a 3-legged stool. You have sports for athletes. You have sports. You have school. You have social. You can only have 2 legs. You can't have 3. So which one are you gonna fall in? Like which one are you gonna? Is it gonna happen? Are you gonna go out and drink on a Wednesday night when you have a 6 a.m. workout the next day? Probably not.
Yeah.
So
and that's interesting, because a 3-legged stool is gonna fall over pretty easily. But a 2-legged stool is immediately gonna fall over too. Just that picture in my head. Wow. Okay, cool. So coming into your senior year, this is still fall semester, so you get the rest of fall semester and spring semester. How's this year been so far?
This year's been better. I've been playing better this year than I was last year. I had 2 injuries, but I think that's on the list. We can talk about that later. But it's better this year. I think COVID last year sucked. It was just a bad environment, just because I had to get tested every week. We weren't really, like, me and my teammates, like, weren't allowed to hang out unless we wearing a mask. And then, like, if people were getting COVID, we were getting shut down for 2 weeks. And like we usually play in the fall. We didn't play last fall because of COVID, got canceled. And it was just like a fight for survival last year. It was hard. But this year it's been good. It's been a hard balance for me, just because like I'm trying to stay in it, like with my call, like be competitive with the rest of the guys and keep my mind sharp, but also like I'm planning for the next stage of my life. Like, where am I going after this? Like, I'm trying to stay present, but it's hard because I want to plan for the future and figure out what my job options are. And it's just like a tough balance. My senior year, I'm trying to like keep, like, I'm in my off season right now, so I'm like trying to like relax a little bit, not play as much golf because I don't want to burn out. So now it's hard to like get back to, like, I know like once Christmas break hits, I'm gonna start doing like a mini training camp. So I'll get myself like on a schedule where I'm gonna work out, then I need to practice for these amount of hours and like get myself back into it. But it all comes down to the spring. So like the fall is pretty much like a warm up season. Then the spring was when the NCAA championships are.
Cool. Cool. Mm-hmm. How have you guys done? Or so at your school, is it more like individual or is it more like your school as a team? Like how have you guys done in the past few years?
It's a team thing. So basically in college golf, it's 5 players play. There's could be like 9 or 10 on the team, 5 to 6 play, and then 4 scores always count. So there's one guy that doesn't count. And my freshman year, I did really good. I was like all conference team. I think I finished second in freshman of the year standings. I was all freshman team. And I did great. And then I got injured for like the past 2, like sophomore and junior year. And now I'm starting to compete better again. But my team's gotten a lot better. We were ranked 120 my freshman year. And now we're ranked top 50 in the country. And that's just a different, like we had a new coach and he brought in just different caliber of players. And it's different being like, you can see the guys at the top are just like a couple of my teammates have played in PGA Tour events, and like these guys are just so like they're so good. Like some of these guys are just so good at golf, like just naturally.
So that's probably elevates everybody else though too, right?
I've gotten so much better. Yeah, it's because like it's not even like some of these guys might hit the ball further than me. Like I'm naturally swinging harder at it, like stuff like that. It's like I want to be the best. So like you just don't even you're mindlessly trying to get like getting better because you're seeing what they do. So you're trying to elevate yourself.
That's cool. Did that coach recruit or when that coach came in, did the players just like, oh, I want to follow you wherever you go?
Recruited well. He won a couple national championships in the Division 2 level, and then he was his name's Andrew Dana. He was at LSU as the assistant, and then he came to us after my freshman year. And he's like a younger guy, like 35 years old. He's really intense, but he's good coach. He knows what he's doing.
Can you say his name one more time?
Andrew Dana.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. We'll keep plugging away here. Where do you live now? We got that down. You're at college.
Yep.
And then we hit a lot of these golf questions already, but let's see if there's anything we miss. Yep. Oh, how did you get started?
I think I actually have an interesting story. My grandpa, my dad's dad, played on the PGA Tour in the 1950s and played in a couple major championships and wasn't like crazy successful because the money just wasn't good back then. But he was he taught golf for like over 30 years and he got me into it. My dad, we like say he skipped a generation. He wasn't that into golf, but he always had appreciation for it. And it's just like a family thing. I grew up on a golf course, like right outside, and I started playing golf, but I wasn't into it until I was like 12 or 13. Because I played basketball. I loved basketball, but I wasn't like I'm only 5'11". Like I wasn't that big, and like I broke both my ankles. Like not at the same time, but like my dad's like, you're not playing this anymore.
This wasn't in the cards.
I also like just hated passing. Like I would hate when other people screw up and I'm impacted. So like I like that aspect of individual sports because you can just
it's all on you.
It's on you. If I do good or bad, it's on me. So,
that's cool. Shoot, I had a follow-up question for something you just said, but I lost it. But it might come back to me.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, so we got last season. You said we're working through some injuries, and we'll come back to that in a second. Any specific goals for this upcoming season, or just kind of gonna try to give it your all, play the best?
I feel like goals I used to get so specific, and like if I didn't hit it, it'd be an X on my goal list on my phone. But I feel like the biggest thing is just bring it every day, and just I want to be consistent and compete every day. And like just keep my mind right. I think that if I just make it vague and simple, I think it's gonna work out for me. Like I just want to give it my all every day. And if I feel like I do that every single day, it's like a check mark in my head, then I think I'll do good.
I really like that analogy.
Yeah.
I've used that analogy with people before. Like every day you give it your all, it's a check mark. Every day you kind of half-assed it, it's a red X. Try to get more check marks and X's. So I like that analogy a lot. And
I remember either,
Yeah, it's for sure. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I remember my question. So I know for some sports you have to start very early, or basically there's no way you're gonna make it. Like ice hockey is one.
Yeah.
Like if you're not skating when you're like 5-7 years old, like you're not gonna make pros most of the time. Right. How is golf? Do many people start really young, or is it something that it's all different?
I'd say everyone starts really young.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily always help you. Like a couple of my friends like won world championships when they were like 6 or 7 years old. best players in the world when they're 6 or 7, but the pool's small.
Right.
But I think if you're not playing high level competitive golf when you're 13 and 14, you can't. It's hard to stop. Like that's like kind of the last time, like the last entry point you can get in before like high school. Because if your kids recruit there, you can get recruited your freshman year of high school. So like, if you're not getting offers and stuff by freshman, sophomore year, it's gonna be tough.
Interesting. Okay, I never knew that. I thought it was something people kind of picked up during the high school age, but you got to start young if you want to make it.
Right, because you have to have a tournament resume. So like you have to have a lot of, it takes years.
Yeah, totally. That's cool. So next question we got, what's a typical week look like in season right now? Well, you're not in season, but when you're in season.
Okay. Let's just pick like my like Thursday or Monday. Like I'm a senior, so I'm not taking as many classes. So a typical day would be like, I'm gonna get up at 5:30. I need to be at the gym, or 5:20. I need to be in the gym by 5:50 to stretch and warm up. We do like activation warm up. We're gonna lift from 6 to 6:30. We're gonna do a core workout for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go run or do like assault bikes or ellipticals till 7. Then we're tired. Then I'm back to my house by like 7:15. I'll like go get breakfast or something. Then then sometimes I'll try and squeeze in a nap, and then I'll go to class. I'll leave at 8:30, go to class, and class from 9 to 2 different classes, 9 to 12. Get a quick lunch. I'm at the course by 1. Practice, or like we'll play golf 1 to 5:30, 6. Or if you have class, like I'll have class from 5:30 to 8:15 at night.
No way. You have class after you play?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yikes.
Mondays. And then it's terrible. Like you grab a protein shake and then you just kind of roll. And then you get home at 8 and then you eat something and you do it all over the next day.
Do it all over again. Back on the grind.
Try and do your homework if you have homework.
Yeah, at some point try to get your homework in there.
Yeah. That's for class. That's what class is for. Homework.
Nice. So how about out of season? How's that differ out of season?
The greatest thing in the world out of season. I don't play golf that much out of season, like once or twice a week. I put a big emphasis on working out. So I'll work out twice a day. I'll work out in the morning with my team, and then I'll go do an individual workout at a facility or somewhere with one of my teammates. We're trying to do like a bulk right now, like later. And then, but yeah, I usually don't have golf, so I have a lot of free time, which is nice. And like if I don't have class, I have even more. But like school's a lot harder right now because we're like getting into almost final season.
Yeah,
I have like a lot of schoolwork I've been doing, which is annoying, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Cool. And then so another college like / golf related question. Where do you see yourself after you graduate? Playing golf, still trying to like be competitive with it, or just kind of like doing it for fun? Or
I mean, it's all dependent on my job, whatever I'm gonna be doing for a job. I mean, I still like competitive golf. I'm not gonna be turning professional, but I told myself, like, I was talking to my dad about this because he was thinking if I maybe wanted to go professional or not. I'd rather be at the top end of like amateur golf. Like I'm gonna be one of the top, like I'm one of the top amateurs in Rhode Island. I'd rather be the top, like the best player in Rhode Island versus like lower pack of tour, like, or a pro event. Because I played a pro event in Rhode Island this summer. I did really well, but it's a grind, and like to make little money, like it's like not attractive to me. Yeah. So like I'll be an amateur. I'll play tournaments on the weekends, like in the summer if I can, and like I'm looking forward to casual golf where I'm gonna play with my buddies and drink beers.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna be. I think I might take a break for competition for at least a year. It's like a lot on the mind.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people take a year off from things, so that sounds right to me. That's cool.
Sure.
Nice. And then last question, you already alluded to it before. Any injuries you had to overcome?
2 wrist surgeries. This is what I would say that pitfall what killed my career in golf. Like 2 wrist surgeries, 2 surgeries on my left wrist, ganglion cyst removals. I had one in March 2020, right before lockdowns and COVID, and then I had one in September. And does kill you. Like, I think it's more of a mental thing, if anything. Like, it's hard to get yourself to come back and be the best again, and like, it's hard to trust your game and get back to where you feel like you can be, not laying on your butt all day. Like, so that's the biggest, toughest thing. And then you're out of commissions for, I was probably out of commission for a year. So it's like, I don't want, like, it was hard to be back.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously physically the wrists weren't theirs. I mean, that must have been tough, but also like mentally, like how were you able to, what'd you do just to, like, get through it?
So like I had the wrist surgery, the first one, so March 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to have the stitches in for 2 weeks or something. I got pulled out and I like was like looking around. I'm like, man, like I cannot sit on my bed all day. Like I gotta get moving. It's like I wasn't big into fitness before. Like I didn't really like working out that much. Now I'm really into it. But I just like went to try 2 different trainers in my town in Naples, and I found one I really like here. And I've worked with them for a couple of years now, and I did legs for 6 months straight, and I got huge. Like I got so much bigger, and I feel like I got in such good shape, and that's really changed my life. You know, I love working out now. Like I work out almost every day, and like I think that's like I pretty much just worked out legs for 6 months. Now my body's like not proportional because I don't work out chest, but it's pretty funny. Like most guys don't hit leg day, but I mean I do.
Yeah, you got leg day down. That's really good advice. And I've heard that before, and I've told people that same thing too. Like if you're injured, chances are there's something you can do as far as like physically, like with in a workout. Like chances are there's like something that you can work on and you can potentially get better. Like for you, your wrist was injured, like fine, like I'm gonna get my legs super strong. I'm gonna work on something else for a while, you know.
So I came back like hitting the golf ball like and stuff like just so much better than I thought. Like I was just like so much stronger through the ball. Like I came like 20 yards of distance. I was like, man, this is all worth it.
That's good. Hey, you turn a negative into a positive. So that's really good. All right, so let's we already talked about this a little bit, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. So we're getting to the next category, some training and recovery stuff. So any major differences between what you're doing as far as like workouts and fitness wise, like in season and out of season?
Yeah, I'd say high volume in season, low weight, and then I won't do much chest during season because I don't like getting sore, and I don't want like to feel like tight in my swing and all. And then out of season, I go super heavy legs, doesn't bother me. But out of season, I go like reps 6 max, always heavy, super heavy weight, and I do that a lot. I'd say the most. But I work out more in the off season. Try to build up strength.
Do a lot of your teammates kind of follow the same like routine as you, or are you kind of separate?
I would say some guys aren't into working out. Some guys are. I'd say like me and one other guy are pretty into it. Cool. And we do like lift really heavy during the workouts, and we push each other really hard. Cause we're like, let's throw another plate on, and we're like, can't even get the weight up because we're trying to like smack out always.
Nice.
But yeah, it's always having a good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Whoop, because I know we both got them. We both love them. How does that help your training?
I think it's crazy. I'm a big accountability person. Like I hate seeing a red number. So like my alcohol intake has gone way down. Like I'm in college. Like that's just alcohol essential. Like everyone drinks all the time. So like I only drink like occasionally, and if it's gonna be really fun. So I'm like kind of picky. Like I'm not gonna drink crap either. But like I think Whoop is like transformed. Like I hate not putting in an activity of the day. Like I want my strain to be a certain number. Like at least a 10 every single day. So it's hard to like, I want to be active and just keeps you moving all the time, which is good. And then Whoop just like sleep. Like I used to not sleep that much or go to bed 2 a.m. all the time. I'm in bed like by, before midnight. And I just like consistency and stuff. And like, there's so much, the information's so good that it's like hard not to use it. And like you get better just by having one.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I like how you said that too about, I'm in college, everybody drinks, but literally I'm only going to drink if it's going to be really fun. I'm not going to just like booze for no reason.
Yeah, like I'm not like my friends get mad at me because like they're gonna like sit around their couch at their apartment and drink. I'm like, that's just not fun. Like I use no like I'm sorry, guys. Like I'll drink like with like electrolytes or
Yeah. I'll hang out with you guys on the couch. I'm just gonna have like an electrolyte drink
yeah, I'm
instead.
gonna drink like a liquid IV. Like I just like unless it's for going out, like doing something like at a bar, like it's like a holiday, like Halloween or something. I went out.
Yeah.
My poop score was terrible, but like it's
Yep.
like so there be something fun. Like I'm not sitting around like I want to have like fun with the boys. Like not, but I'm not gonna sit around on the couch and do it. Because it's not worth it for me to like get a bad recovery and feel bad the next day.
Right, and just throw maybe like your entire day off the next day, or potentially screw your week up if you're on some sort of like training schedule. Like,
and it
not worth it.
Kills like your metabolism and stuff.
Yeah, it's obviously for an athlete, it's not.
Yeah,
there's no place for it at all. But obviously, like you're in college, like once in a while, is fine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Cool. And then how about anything you're doing just general for recovery, like maybe like stretching, yoga, heat, ice, sauna, meditation, anything like that?
I'll stretch. Like I have a foam roller. I do the hypervolt a lot. I'd say that's the biggest one I do.
Hypervolt's great.
It's so good. It's worth it. Worth every dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Use it all the time.
And then how about nutrition?
I do my MyFitnessPal Monday through Friday.
Nice.
Keep it under like 2,200 calories, and I'm doing I've been counting macros for the first time in my life. I've been doing it for like 3 weeks. Nice. And I'm doing like 40, 40, 20. So 40% carbs, 40% protein, 4% fat. That's really hard.
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm not like limiting my life, but like I wanted to like learn information about food and see like proteins, like obviously key. 100%. I'm not a big cook, so I cook breakfast at home, like overnight oats, something really protein packed. And then like college is hard. Like you can't cook. Like it's just pain in the butt. Like I hate cooking in general. So like I'll go to Chick-fil-A and just get like grilled nuggets or something. It's like that kind of stuff. Like little changes. It helps you.
Yeah, it just brings awareness too to everything you're eating. Like, oh, I guess what I just ate had a ton of fat in it, or I guess what I just ate had a ton of protein in it. Like it helps you like make choices, which is cool.
And what calories, like what foods are waste, like fries. Like I love fries, and they have zero macronutrient value. They don't help you at all. So like,
I'm wasting all my calories.
Chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
It's just like
overnight oats I'm on MyFitnessPal too, actually, and I don't do it all the time because I'd go crazy, but I do like I'll do like a period of every once in a while, like 6 weeks, kind of like recalibrate what I'm doing, and then and I'll be able to like eat more intuitively after that. But I've been doing more overnight oats recently too. It's so easy to make, and you get a ton of really good macros from it.
I'll have to send you my recipe. I use the Bare Performance Nutrition cinnamon roll protein.
Ooh.
That's good in it. And my girlfriend makes it for me, but we put fat-free, sugar-free Jello mix in it, like chocolate.
Ooh. Yeah, you'll have to send me that. I'll post that in the show notes, even if you want to share it.
Yeah, I'll put it in there. And put like a banana and like put fat-free milk because it has even more protein. So then you're rocking like, and I actually have another recipe I've been doing, like protein French toast with egg whites and a scoop of protein.
Ooh.
And that's it. It's like, I think it was 85 grams of protein or something.
Wow.
It's 600 calories.
That's huge. Yeah, definitely send me the recipe afterwards. Yeah. And then last major question, any supplements?
Try to do like this greens powder. I'm just not into it, but I try it every now and then. Like I've tried the athletic greens, like I'm sure a lot of people have, but like I can't get to it. I don't even take vitamins. I don't really believe in it. Like I don't feel a difference. But like I just do a lot of protein shakes. I think if you max up your protein, you do it. I used to take creatine a lot, but like it just made me feel so like bloated. It's like water.
Sure.
Water weight.
Some people get that effect from it, and it's not everybody, but some people do get that effect where you feel like you're more bloated or have more water weight. I will say though, if you take it more long term, that'll start. A lot of people will feel less of that. Like your body will start to kind of adapt to it. But yeah, that's a common side effect for the creatine. And you take the protein powder obviously too.
Yeah, I take like Premier Protein, or like I do this like yogurt that's 25 grams, and like I just do a lot of protein.
Nice. That's one of the most important ones. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll hit our wrap up questions.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in store for the future, as far as like golf, school, career wise, or anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, graduating in May. I'm doing some job interviews right now.
Awesome.
Got a job offer from a company in Boston. So me and my girlfriend Carrington are moving up to Rhode Island in May, and we're excited to be roadies and
let's go.
Work out with you and Matt. Or sorry, you and Zach, and hit Bullfrog. And yeah, I mean, it's going to try for a life change, and it's gonna be exciting because New England's it's a cool atmosphere up there. It's like a very different place to live, and it's like there's like a sense of community, I feel like.
Yeah.
But like people party hard up there too, which is fun.
Yeah. People party hard in Florida too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Miami more, but yeah.
Yeah, true. I'm biased, but I love Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's a great place to live.
Yeah. Awesome. And then anything you want to plug right now? Any shout outs? I know probably Bullfrog Fit and Zach too.
Oh, Zach for sure. You guys the goat. Can't wait to work out with him again. He's just like I was thinking about today because like I was like doing the no caffeine thing. I was working out with my trainer here. It's like, bro, his workouts are so hard. Like, I don't know how I made it through. Like this summer, I went like 4 days a week. It was brutal.
They're really hard.
Like my whole body was it was terrible. I mean, it was great. I got so much stronger, but
yeah,
and I went to the Z camp.
I think there might be one in the works. I can't say anything yet, but I mean, you probably won't be up here for a little while, but there might be one in the works.
You better do it in May. I'm going.
We can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, all right. So my finishing question, if you could put, and so this trips people up sometimes, but if you could put one favorite quote, mantra, or saying on a billboard, so everybody driving by it would be able to see it and they could take something from it.
I think this one's like, I probably have two. I'd say like one. Like my mom always says this, make it happen, like no excuses. Like just make everything happen. But there's one actually, this job interview yesterday for Dell, and they said, what motivates you? I said the fear of being mediocre. So I'd say like the biggest thing is like fear mediocrity. Like you just don't want to be another number, another person. Like I don't want to be the average Joe. So I think that's like a cool way to live, just being fearful of being mediocre.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
A good quote. Cool. Awesome. Well, hey, I'm so glad to have you on, Chase. I'm glad we made it happen.
So much fun. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Cool. Well, all right. See you soon. Signing off.
For sure. Thanks.